who have already been detained by ICE. So, however we want to look at this, it did not justify lethal force, and he was not allowed to even detain her or do any type of commands. And especially when we can sit here and say she should have stayed, she should have left, but one ICE officer is telling her to get out of the car and one is telling her to leave. And she was being in a very polite tone, speaking with them the entire time. Regardless of how we want to cut it, it was not justifiable, and he was already planning to use his weapon before he got in front of the car.
Thank you, Carolina. Let me go to Second, and then Nichelle, and then we'll begin to rotate a little bit, you guys. Second, what is your thoughts on the new cell phone video that was just released? Did it change your mind? Do you still have the same opinion as you did a couple days ago? What do you think?
Yeah, that was the person that went before me, that was very comprehensive and very thoughtful, and you took a lot of the words right out of my mouth. It changed my video. It changed my view in the sense that yesterday or the day before, I was pretty sure that a state prosecution will end up going ahead. Now I'm certain that it has to go ahead. That video closed the door for any reasonable argument that this was self-defense. It closed it entirely.
Okay.
You have a law enforcement officer, which, by the way, we talk about the reasonable use of force doctrine. I guess I should say before I get into this, I am an attorney, and I don't think you should just believe me because I'm an attorney. I think you should believe me because I'm going to lay out my argument very well. But you should know your pilot is certified to fly the plane, right? If I'm going to talk about legal stuff. Before you even reach the Graham v. Connor analysis that a lot of people want to talk about, like reasonable use of deadly force, you have to have a lawful order or a valid seizure under the law to even reach that analysis. We don't even have that here, right? So this isn't even something that can be roped into a state law prosecution as a potential theory of self-defense. We don't even have any lawful order that she had to follow in the first place. Right. That's I guess the first point that I want to make.
Let me real quick second. Oh no, go ahead and make your second point. Then I got a question for you. Then I'm going to go to Nichelle. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'll try to wrap it up quickly. Second, there's a few things kind of outside the exact factual argument that are important to me. One, there's only one way that this video that we're all seeing. There's only one way that we're seeing it. Literally, there's only one explanation for it. FBI had to leak it. Whether it was a personal phone or whether it was a government-issued phone that was recorded on, FBI had to leak this. And what that tells me is people at FBI know this was a homicide. Rank and file at FBI knows this was a homicide. They know they are not going to be able to get this evidence to Minnesota investigators because Cash and Trump aren't going to allow it. And so they're leaking because they're trying to give Minnesota officials what they need to bring this case without having to cooperate with the FBI. Yeah, that's how this works when you have incompetent rogue leadership at the highest levels of government. We have historical parallels for this.
Okay. Let me just ask you a real quick question. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let me just ask you. From what I've heard, and I have been kind of out of pocket today, but from what I've heard over the last 24 hours, my understanding is that the federal agents and ICE are not going to turn over any of their footage to the state prosecutors. So do you think, though, with what they have, right, and what's been filmed by outside folks, it sounds like you think that that's enough to go forward with the case?
It's hard. It's hard to say. I think it could end up being enough if the rank and file at FBI do the American thing and keep looking.
Okay.
But I don't know what Minnesota investigators have, so I don't really know. I really don't know if it's enough to go on right now.
Okay. No, I appreciate
the videos are damn clear. I mean, it might be enough, but we'll see.
Okay. Hey, Second, thank you so much. I'm gonna let you down. Thank you for coming up, man. I really appreciate your I'm gonna try to get you up next time too. I like the perspective as an attorney. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Nichelle, and I do want one more person that does agree with OD that this was, or more so, because I think OD is somewhere in the middle, but someone who believes that this was justified. If you want to put a 1, if you do feel like that, and you're in the request. Nichelle, go ahead, fam. What are your thoughts? Did this change your mind?
Yes, and I wish I had a chance to say something to second. I think in these conversations, I think reaction is one thing. I think what disturbs me, what I've been following, and I've been watching it literally all day because I'm fascinated with 2 things. I'm fascinated with the narrative and the messaging, okay? And I'm fascinated with what the average American person is taking away from this, right? And I'm so glad to at least hear a legal perspective because I've seen some very, very frustrated attorneys online doing posts similar to what Second was doing, because again, for me personally, it boils down to how in the world are we all looking at the same thing and coming up with something completely different. Now, as far as analysis is concerned, Smitty, from what I've seen today, is that even legal analysts and law analysts, former police chiefs, attorneys, former heads of Homeland Security, there's still a 50-50 split on what like Americans are thinking. It's pretty equal, right? So it'll be interesting to see after the video that came out today if someone wants to come up and say, something different. Now, I do want to weigh in a little bit. I have Black sons. I'm a Black woman. And I would like to say that even in spite of having the talk with them, like I've been talking to my daughter about this, like, hey, what would you have done? What would you, even though she's a Black woman, even though, she knows everything that's been going on, she hears me reacting to it all day long. She says in that instance, maybe she still would have driven off. So even if we have the talk, even if we do those things, it doesn't somehow justify what this agent did. And the last thing I want to say is words matter. He's not a police officer. Let me say that again. He's not a police officer. So many analysts are pointing that out, the distinction. He is an agent. He falls under a different jurisdiction. I think too many times, especially those of us that are in the Black community and maybe just regular people, they look at this and file this under the same type of, category as a police officer. If you notice, his weapon wasn't pulled away. They didn't take him off the beat. None of that, because he doesn't fall under that same jurisdiction. He's not falling under that same category. So I just want to point those things out. And
let me read a comment to you. Rose says to you, Nichelle, does not matter. She still hit him. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I'm glad that you brought that up. And again, I would encourage everybody who I can almost kind of tell, and I mean this in the most respectful way. I can tell who hasn't kept up on all the videos and all the analysis. And I'm not throwing shade at all. I'm simply saying I can tell who has all the information and who has bits and pieces of information. So again, even legal analysts, and as a matter of fact, CNN and Fox, and I think it was the New York Times as well. Say what you will about them. I'm just going by what different mainstream media, AP, Reuters are looking at. They've reconstructed, because now they have aerial view. They've compiled all the different cameras. Not one person can conclusively say that he was hit. As a matter of fact, Smitty, I just watched an analysis where they said the only thing that changes with the new video, by the way, that was leaked to conservative media last night, just want to point that out as to where the source of that came from. They said the only thing that adds to this is audio, which I thought was really fascinating, Smitty. So we've all been looking at visual so far, but we have not had a chance to analyze audio. And so this also goes completely against what the administration was saying, that she was combative, that she was mean, that she's a paid protester, that she followed him around. And yet now we've got both visual and audio. You can hear him moan a little bit, like oomph, but even analysts are saying, and these are previous police chiefs who've analyzed the video, no one can conclusively come out and say that he was actually hit. And as a matter of fact, in that video, multiple videos show that he definitely wasn't struck, like what someone came up last night and said that he was thrown across the hood. He walked away and then called her a bitch. Yeah, he called her the expletive. So yeah. That all I'm saying is that counters these videos now counter the narrative that he was struck, that he was hit, and things like that. And other people have noticed too, and I'll talk about this later, about the angle, this new video with him filming it, that he was at a 90-degree angle, and everyone is saying that that goes against policy.
Okay.
So that's what I'll say to that.
Thank you, Pam. Again, real quick, Carolyn, let me just make a quick announcement. I got you. Let me just make a quick announcement. Again, I'm looking for one person that feels like this was justified. I hate even saying that word, honestly, but to be fair as a moderator, I'm looking for one person. So if you are in the request, right, only if you're in the request, put a 1. I'll try to get you up. Carolina, real quick, and then I want to go to OD and give her an opportunity.
Yeah, I want to echo everything that Nichelle says. People are continuing to say that he was clipped. Even it does not show that conclusively. I agree. Even in this new one, what you see is his phone dropping, not him getting hit. You see his phone dropping. But there's also one other thing I'm finding disturbing in the chat, because I've been looking up sources. Multiple people are trying to say that she lost custody of her kids, and I'm not understanding where that's coming from. It was absolutely at minimum confirmed that her 6-year-old was in her custody, and that's why she had the toys in the vehicle and had dropped him off at school. So I think this is another issue where you guys like to read I don't know if it's Reddit post or whatever the hell you're talking about. I'm not even sure how that would be relevant to the situation, but you guys have to start learning to go off of facts that are verifiable with sources. And as Nichelle stated, every video we've seen, it's not conclusive. Even if he was clipped by the quarter panel, he already had pulled the trigger at least once before that even happened, because her car had not moved forward yet. So there have been several breakdowns of the different angles where people are going frame by frame, slow motion. I'm just kind of confused on where the insistence is on running with narratives that have not been proven.
Got it. All right, let me go to OD. OD, anything you heard on the panel that might change your mind or change your perspective?
No, because it's so ridiculous, Smitty. I want to say something to the 900 plus people in this room for your safety. This isn't even about trying to be a TikTok scholar and get my point across. For the safety of your life, I'm going to give you the talk. If you encounter the police based on their history of being irresponsible, I don't care if you're white, you're black, you're male, you're green. In order to keep the situation calm, you have to have control of your emotions. You're not in charge of the cop, right? So if you know that the cops have a history of crashing out, don't listen to these people that are saying, well, I would still stand by my rights and still stand by what I think is right. Like I teach my kids, just do what they say, please. It may and it may not save your life, but do what they say and we'll fight them later in court. Child, please put that car in park. If you got to throw the keys out the window to let them know you're not going nowhere. It's not just on the safety of the cops. She should not have died. Her loss is horrible. To be bringing up that she didn't have her kids and all that is irrelevant gossip, and that's wrong. This woman is dead. This cop's life is destroyed because he did it. We're all fighting in the chat. And it's very simple. She should have put her damn car in parked. Her girlfriend should have got the fuck in the car and shut the hell up and waited for everything to calm down. And then you could have drove your little brave ass off. She chose to do the opposite and she put herself in danger. That was extremely irresponsible. It does not make the cop right, but it makes her irresponsible as well. You guys never hold anyone accountable because you guys are constantly saying what you would have done. And I know this younger generation, you guys, listen to me. It's not always about you being right. We could agree to disagree and let's everyone make it home safe. Simple as that.
All right, let me go
That was
to
about
Michelle.
my
Do you want
daughter.
to?
Hold on,
What's that?
Smitty. That was about my daughter. That was about my daughter. I
I
was the
never
one that
said
said
any
that my
names.
daughter.
Oh,
You
I didn't
said
take
one
it
of
like
these
that.
people. No, you
I
said
didn't take
one
it
of
like
these.
that either,
Hang
Smitty.
on. Well, let me clarify. Let me
Okay.
respond. You said one of the people on this panel said if it was my daughter, I was the only one that mentioned her child. So let me respond. I'm simply pointing out, and by the way, Smitty brought this up as that he's not a woman and he wouldn't know. I'm simply pointing out, I hear what you're saying. Like I said, I've got 2 black sons and 1 black daughter. Okay, I've had to talk multiple times with my kids. And while I do agree with you about it's not being haughty or prideful or arrogant or mouthy, yes, it's about getting the child home, getting your loved one home. I agree with that. I was simply saying that in this instance, if you notice, and what we're not talking a lot about, Smitty, what all the analysts are talking about is the fact that if you play back the video, the one that we've seen, not the new one that came out, they were talking about how this instance got escalated. Who escalated it? It wasn't the cop, it wasn't the agent that did the pew pew. It was the first 2 agents that got out of that vehicle. The first guy, the taller gentleman, he's walking slowly toward her car and telling and move to do the motion like get out of the car. This shorter agent bum rushes the car. Okay, doesn't wait for her to respond, doesn't wait for her to do anything. He starts yanking on the side of her car. My daughter was simply saying, my adult daughter, my adult black daughter, simply said she would have been afraid for her life if some man came charging out, giving conflicting instructions, okay, and is yanking on the car. That's all that I'm responding to. So even though I've had that talk, she was saying she too would have made the decision to try to pull away. Because what's the option in that video? What's the option? What's the other option, right? He snatches her, drags her out. He wasn't looking like, oh, hey, could you please get out of the car? Please let me have your ID. He didn't do that. He rushed the vehicle and immediately started snatching and pulling on the side of the car. If that door had been unlocked, she would have been snatched out of the car and we would have had another situation.
Give me 1
I need
second.
to
Yeah,
ask
give me 1
Donna,
second. Hold on.
That's
Real quick.
fair.
because this is super important.
Real quick. Hold on. Real quick.
Okay.
Hey, Sarah, I saw your request. Give me a second, okay? I don't know if you saw my response. I know you want to come up. Give me a second. I am looking right now for someone that does feel that, again, has a different take than most on the panel. That's about as well as I can describe it. I can't say those other words. I just can't do it. But if you have a different take or it's take similar to OD, put a 1 in the comments. If you're in the request, I'll let you up. Real quick, OD, because I do want to let Ronnie, Jackson, Carolina, because I'm probably
Wait,
going to
Carolina,
one of
let
them.
me just.
Well, I know,
respond
but you may
to the
want to respond to me too, because this adds on that I don't know if people know. I'll be super quick, okay?
Okay,
I
hurry up,
people to
Carolina, you're taking my
understand.
time.
Okay, because I will be super quick and you can respond. I want people to also understand because, like, as a woman, and like, I'm somebody who's not scared of any fucking thing. So I probably would have let them arrest me if it meant letting some immigrants get away, because I'll sue their fucking asses because I'm a United States citizen. However, this is a dainty little white woman we're talking about. There are numerous occasions that have been documented of people either being ICE agents or posing as ICE agents and raping women. The fact that these men continue to be masked, a lot of them are using like fake attire, fake badges. A lot of them are refusing to show their badges. Hold on. I'm just saying that there is a credible threat there for women in that situation. Again, me, I ain't scared of no bitch ass man. But
I know, but you guys gotta stop. Oh my God. The deflection is worse than my son playing Roblox. So now, first of all, Nichelle and Carolina, sorry, you know you always get me on your name. Both of them are now saying, well, we wouldn't know who they were. You know who the hell they were. And there were multiple people out there recording. So even saying that, that's why people like myself say, you guys need to stop playing games. Listen, if you're going to be out there with the police, that's a dangerous situation because you're going... Sorry about that. If you're going to be out there with the police, call Bree to see why she's calling. If you're going to be out there with the police, you're going against with a weapon of war, okay? So you need to think logically. They knew who they were. And wasn't nobody about to damn kidnap them because they thought they were someone else. And let me address something that Shell said where she's like, well, Smitty wouldn't know isn't a woman. Before you came on the Shell, Smitty also said, and I know Smitty, you hate when we pull you in the middle, but Smitty also said, I asked them, Smitty, if I was there as a black person, as your kid, wouldn't you tell me to put the vehicle in park and just stop? Not because I'm wrong, just for the safety of my life, because the police are there and you never know what they'll do. Smitty said yes. He agreed, Michelle. For the safety of me.
That's not what I said, but I understand where you're going with that.
Irresponsible,
Okay.
Michelle.
All right. Let's do this. Let me let Ronnie and Jax get a comment in, and then I'm gonna have a cycle. Listen, I see a lot of people agreeing with OD, but none of y'all are in the request. I don't know why. So if you agree with OD, come up. There's one slot left. I'm gonna cycle the folks that are disagreeing, right? So we can get some more people up.
Because the OGs are mean to them. The OGs are mean to them. I mean, I'm used to dealing with the OGs. They're scared to come up because Michelle and Carolina be ripping them apart.
That's not true.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Listen. Let's not do that.
that's
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
I'm used to dealing with them.
I'm used to dealing with you.
Hold on.
We're dealing with each other, but they're scared of them.
Hold on. It's Ronnie's turn. Let's let Ronnie get his point in. Listen, there's no need. Listen, if you have the truth, you shouldn't be scared of anybody. I just put it to you that way. Let me go to Ronnie. Go ahead, Ronnie.
So, first of all, Smitty, I got a question for you. Me having been on your lives now for over 2 years, do you consider me OG or no?
Oh, you definitely OG.
I appreciate it. Thank you. There's a couple of things that I want to address. First of all, OD below me continues to refer to ICE as police. ICE agents, they are federal law enforcement agents with immigrations and with the DHS. They are ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. They are not police. According to multiple groups, including the National Immigrant Justice Center, based out of Illinois, including multiple state attorney general's offices, such as the New York State Attorney General, they are not police. So you consistently referring to ICE agents. 1 second. You consistently referring to ICE agents as police is incorrect and disingenuous. When we're talking about people being detained by police, there's a difference between your local police department pulling you over for a traffic citation and an ICE agent illegally detaining you and trying to stop you in your tracks even when you're an American citizen. There is a major difference between the two. So stop referring to ICE as police, because they are not your ordinary law enforcement officers, police officers. They are federal agents, and they are not behaving like such because they are not being trained as such over the past 12 months, because the workforce for ICE has more than doubled by 120%. They are not getting the proper 27-week training that they are required to get by law in order to be well equipped and well trained to do their jobs. We see from all of these video clips that they are not being trained properly, and that they are acting out of their instincts rather than proper judgment. Now, there's something that I wanted to point out, and I wanted to get permission from Smitty if I can play it. I have that video, the one that he has over here. I can play it on my screen and show you that her wife tried to go into the car. When you said, OD, why didn't her wife just try to get into the car and stay quiet? You can tell that while the officer is walking across the front of Renee's vehicle, the wife tried to open up the passenger door, but because it was locked, she couldn't go in. And as he started pewing into the driver's seat, she slammed onto the gas, because obviously when you get shot, you're going to lose cognitive control, especially being shot in the fucking head. Sorry for my language. I'm passionate about this, right? Her wife lunged back. You can see it on this video clip. So if you did not watch the video clip that Smitty has on his green screen, just say it, because it was just leaked hours ago, and I can play it on the screen for the 958 viewers and show you exactly what is being discussed.
All right, let's do this. Let me that.
I gotta
Go ahead,
respond.
OD, 30, 40-second response. I'm gonna
Okay,
let Jax
first
get
of
in.
all,
Go ahead.
slow claps for your passion. I'm sure you thought you ate. It seems like you rode in on your emotional unicorn.
Hold on, y'all. Let's let OD finish. Go ahead, OD. But let's get a response. Okay, go ahead. Did we lose OD? Okay, I think we lost OD. All right.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
here.
Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Y'all stop muting me. There y'all go. Here we're starting already. Come on, Nichelle. Talk to the mods. I was just addressing his passion.
You can respond, but without insulting.
Hold on, guys. He said he's passionate. So I said slow claps for his passionate ass. I was giving him his flowers on the unicorn. Everyone needs to stop being overly emotional. These are officers who were trained. They are federally hired officers. And let's say even if you think they're not officers in your fairy tale, that is still a person with a gun. Did she have a gun? Are you gonna fight someone with a gun? Fight a crew with multiple guns?
Let's use TikTok friendly language, OD. Pew pew.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to the common sense here. I'm not saying they're right, but we have to use common sense too. I am not coming to a pew pew fight with my unicorn saying I know my rights. I'm gonna just sit down, wait for everything to calm down so I can stay alive and get through this.
Okay.
I will go back on mute.
All right, thank you, OD. Let me go up to Beth. Beth, what is your thought? Yeah, I got you. I know. Give me 1 second. I'm coming to you next. Let me just get the new pass, but I got you, Jax. Don't worry. I'm gonna keep you up a little bit longer too. Beth, welcome to the panel. What are your thoughts on what this video that was just released, and do you feel that it has changed your mind or not in regards to how you see what happened in Minneapolis? You should be able to unmute, Beth, if you're still there. There we go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I grew up in New York City, and the men who shot this woman are not cops, whether that lady thinks they are or not. They're federal agents that are border control cops that are not cops. My father was a cop in New York City for 45 years, and he even said for that man to stand in front of her car like he did, he was a threat and he was wrong for what he did to her. She waved them on, and that gentleman shot her anyway and tried to get her out of the car. And I'm sorry, you people need to wake up. I am an Italian white woman. Whether she was white, Korean, black, or Asian, they would have killed any color woman in that car, because these people are ignorant and they're doing everything that Trump wants them to do.
Okay.
And they are not trained, and they should be held accountable and go to jail for killing American citizens. This lady was a single mother of 3. Her children don't have a mother because this guy was high on his ego.
Thank you, Beth.
Black person
Thank you for coming up.
and have self-control. A black
Thank you,
person
Beth.
can stay in her car and have self-control.
It doesn't matter what color.
Oh, it matters.
She didn't get out of the car.
All right. Thank you, Beth.
She didn't get out.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm looking for opposing opinions. Thank you for coming up. All right. Please only put a 1. Okay. Appreciate you coming up, Beth. But I am looking for people that agree with OD. So please put a 1 only if you're in the request and you agree with OD, or else I'm just gonna let you go for a minute and then I'm gonna drop you. Okay. Thank you. All right. Let me go to Jax. Go ahead, Jax.
Thank you, Smitty. And I have to go, so this will be my last statement.
Okay.
But, okay, Florida. I think the main issue that we are trying to...
If you have to leave, don't address me, sweetheart. If you have to leave, just make your point and keep it moving. Smitty's rules are we can't talk about you when you leave. So don't
true.
address me if you have to leave. So whatever you have to say, you got to stay here so I could get back at your little ass.
Okay, let's not do
That's
that, OD.
unnecessary.
Come
Okay,
on,
that's a
OD.
that's
Come on,
unnecessary. Come on now, Smitty. That's
I'm
I
sorry.
know.
unnecessary.
You're
I
right.
agree. That's why I
Everyone
said
has
that.
been.
This is a
Everyone
little.
That
has
is
You know what? You
been.
guys are
unnecessary.
right.
Let's let
I'm
Jax get.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
As it should.
You're
So
right.
so
No, I
so
would.
all right. Let's
I
do
would
this.
just. I was just. Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Go ahead, Smitty.
Go ahead, Jax.
No, I was just saying that because I'm on the highway and I pulled over to have this conversation. I really need to get to my destination, but I will be willing to stay to listen to your response. It wasn't because I was trying to run or anything. The main point that we are trying to get across is the narrative. Like Michelle and Carolina stated, it is a very,
Thanks,
very,
Smitty.
very, really, really important conversation that we have with our children of color about our conduct with the police. But the issue is that you are misdiagnosing the situation by bringing up her behavior and centering your narrative solely on her behavior takes away the focus from the fact that this is a failure of the system. Okay, this is a failure of the system. There are rules of engagement. Police officers and federal agents should be trained to understand that in that situation, they are dealing with civilians who are terrified, they're the ones with the pew-pews. They're the ones in the situation for control. Neither did they have proper road blockages and marked agents in places on the street to notify civilians that there is an active investigation going on, nor did they give her unified responses in which her behavior should be, nor did after the incident happened, they took the proper precautions to make sure that whatever happened to her salvages her life. And on top of that, each single pew that happened, each single one must be justified in relation to the use of force. Okay, let's play your little game. Let's just say the first one was about her behavior. What about the second one? What about the third one when she was clearly perpendicular to when the agent was clearly perpendicular to her driver's side window? What we're not understanding here is even if she would have acted 100% right, like what you are stating, this could have still happened because the fact is they do not have proper training. They are antagonizing U.S. citizens, and this is a failure of the system. And more of us would like you to speak about that instead of just.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I do apologize for asking her to stay once she addresses me. I do apologize. Thanks for staying. So the main argument that she keeps saying is that never mind this girl's actions. Never mind what she did. Cops are not trained. I've been saying since I got on the panel that cops are not trained. From the history of the way they treat Black people, I've been saying that as a Black person, that's why I brought up race, because I'm saying as a Black person and as other Black people, we know that cops are a little trigger happy and they're not trained. Maybe her as a white woman was not aware of that. And you were simply saying none of that matters. And it does. We have people up here right now saying cops are trigger happy. Excuse me. They're just shooting or they're just pew-pewing people. They have been doing this forever. So it's not that I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. And I simply said, I would not have driven my vehicle knowing they're trigger happy. I would have probably just sat there and waited for whoever, and especially since you guys keep saying, well, it was so much confusion. I would have really stayed put with my hands up until we could get this confusion down, because as you said it yourself, cops have a history of not being trained. So you're contradicting your own statement. If you know that, then you should be saying the same thing. She should have chilled out because cops have no control.
All right. Real quick, since Jax is leaving, let me let Jax get kind of like a final 30 seconds. And then go ahead, Jax.
Thank you, Smitty. No, what I'm not saying is that we should never mind our behavior and our responses to cops and federal agents. What I am simply saying is that there's an issue around your narrative of how you're framing the harms of this situation. What happened? Yes, the police officers and agents are trigger happy, and there's a long history across the world with issues with them being trigger happy. right? That's 100% true. But the issue lies that your prescription for the issue is just for us to not do anything, to be quiet, totally not including the fact that we are humans with.
I never said that. Don't put words in my mouth. I never said be quiet. That's what I'm saying, Smitty. Just because I say, hey, this
Maybe
could have
not
been
interrupt
prevented on
her.
both sides.
Maybe not interrupt her and let her
Yeah,
finish.
let's
But I didn't say that, Nichelle.
Smitty, am I
okay.
free to
Go ahead, Jax. Yeah, go
Did she
ahead.
not say that the wife needed to just get in the car and shut the heck up, and they should have just sat there and been quiet and figured
I
everything
do remember
out?
that. I do remember that. Yep.
Exactly. You're not taking into account that humans have real flight issues, right? And the issue with that is, in this situation, there is one person with a pew-pew. There is one person who's supposedly supposed to be defending the law, and the onus lies on them. Yes, we need to mitigate our reactions and our responses in regards to arrogance, like Nichelle said, arrogance in our responses. But at the end of the day, sitting here and prescribing and deciding to draw your narrative around her behavior and how Black people have known this for years and what she shouldn't done is not helpful. Because like we've seen time and time again, even when we are the most respectful, it still doesn't help. And that still doesn't put the onus on the judicial and legislative system to enforce that these officers get better training. So if you're going to hold that narrative, at least be balanced in the responsibility of the situation. But anyways,
right. Thank you, Jack.
You're
not fam. Take care.
Okay.
All right. Let me. real quick, Carolina. Let me just get NV's give God. Let's get give God's perspective. I just want to get just make sure that he does kind of, or she does have a similar opinion as OD. Just before we continue, NV, you're on Teacup, so hopefully you're there. You have to come back into the app to be able to speak, and you're on mute as well. There we go.
How do I get off?
What was
that? We heard you. There you go.
Okay, I have to say that I watched the videos that the moment she hit the officer is no longer the fact that she's fleeing. That's not the issue. The moment she hit that officer, her vehicle became a lethal weapon. And anytime you hit somebody with your car, they're allowed to return. Not just they're not obligated to just blow out your tires. Once you hit an agent, a federal agent, and that includes police officer, FBI agent, ICE agent, with your vehicle becomes a lethal weapon, then they're allowed to return a forcible enforcement. And that includes up until pew-pewing.
All right, let's do this.
Forcible enforcement means, but I would like to respond, please.
Yeah, Nichelle, I think Carolina's going to
clarify it for you so you understand what I mean.
Just real quick.
Real quick before Carolina.
I'm just trying to make it friendly for TikTok without saying the word.
No, you're good. Give God.
No, you're good, Envy. You're good. I just want to say again. I'm going to say this again, please. I'm literally on my knees begging y'all, please. I am all for the discourse. I love the lively discourse, but we have to. It is not conclusive. If you're going to come up and say that a person that we know conclusively that he was hit, then you're going to have to provide a credible source like AP, Reuters, something like that. No. The reason why I'm saying this is not disagreeing. Trust me. The reactions are all over the place, and that's nationwide. I'm okay with that.
Well, Nichelle, pull up the video showing that he wasn't hit.
Let me finish.
I don't know.
There is nothing.
But she interrupted her.
There is nothing, because it's a misinformation flag. And the chat reacted. There's nothing that conclusively, there is absolutely nothing, not the FBI. No, there's nothing conclusively that says that he was hit. As a matter of fact, we stopped it yesterday. There was a person that came up that said, and the person kind of took back what they were saying and said this was more of his reaction. Another person said the same thing, that the agent was thrown across the front of the car, and we had to show video. There's nothing conclusive saying that he was struck. As a matter of fact, he walked away, and he was the one that said,
Michelle, can she finish talking though? Just
when I'm done. Oh damn, stop it.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Let's do this.
The standard and from the videos I've seen.
Everybody, hold on. Let me explain the rules, okay? And then I'm gonna give you another opportunity, okay? One thing that I try to do, at least I try, right? And we have phenomenal panelists, okay? Phenomenal chat, the best chat, is if we hear something or somebody hears something in the chat that is unsourced and not contrary to what folks have put out, right? They're gonna flag it as misinformation. I mean, they're quick. On my panel, they're quick. Okay.
I'm getting ready to source my.
No, I got you. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna give you a full opportunity. Okay.
I didn't get a full opportunity to get out what I was saying. She interjected before I could finish.
I got you. I'm just explaining what happened. Okay. So now, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to show the source or talk about what source you're gonna show. And then we'll go to Carolina, but let's make sure we stay in order. Okay, go ahead, Give God. Go ahead.
I'm on my phone, but anybody that want to see can go to TMZ and they'll see the new up-to-date video.
Your eyes open the way that my eyes opened.
Okay, so
I didn't
I'm
mean
gonna.
to do that, y'all.
This thing's TMZ. I just want to confirm. Did she think
literally
TMZ
did,
is the
so-
source?
Yeah.
No.
She said TMZ.
Okay, so
No.
if I could come in real
You
quick.
can go to News Nation. You can go to TMZ. They're all showing the new video. The only people not showing the new video is CNN and any other liberal media.
Hold on,
If
can
you
I-
go to
Carolina,
News
can I-
Nation,
Hold on, y'all. Remember, let's stay with the order. Hold on. Wait. But
and I never get to finish my point.
Yeah. To be
thought you
fair,
did
let Give God finish, and then let's go to Carolina. Give God, go ahead. But you keep
Okay.
going to teacup right when we're letting you have the opportunity. Go ahead, Give God. Go ahead.
So she has a civil lawsuit. What everybody is talking about can be a civil lawsuit, but in terms of a criminal lawsuit in the court of law, they will never get a conviction against the ICE agent because he's already met the minimum standards. Once she hit him with her car, there's several videos now. Once she hit him with her car, the car became a lethal weapon and he's allowed to fire.
So my understanding, Give God, and I just want to address this, but let me let Carolina come in. I know y'all want to come in. Let me my understanding is that.
Hey, Smitty, can you drop
yeah.
me? I'm about to head out. Much love to y'all. I
Okay.
just can't with the
All right.
interrupting from the
All right.
shuttle and stuff. I'm about to go. Bye,
All
y'all.
right.
Lord.
Bye, Carolina.
All right, thanks, OD.
Bye, Saj.
All right. Let me let OD go. All
Wait,
right.
how'd you do that?
Okay. All right. So we can debate that, right? We can debate if he did or he didn't, but that is my understanding from federal code that they have to extricate themselves or take themselves out of the way of the vehicle before they can then discharge their weapon. Okay. Let me let Carolina get in. Go
Okay.
ahead, Carolina. Go ahead.
So to a few points that were raised, and I know OD's gone, so this isn't really like in response to her, but just about points that she raised that other people are sharing. And once again, Envy, like, I'm so sorry, y'all, but like, here's the deal: if you come up on a panel and want to claim something that's contradicting what all of the sources are showing, I'm gonna need for you to be technologically prepared to actually show that. No, I need you to stay on mute because I was quiet while you spoke. I'm gonna need you to be technologically prepared to actually show that source, or don't bother coming on a panel because like this is absolutely insane at this point. So no, there is no conclusive evidence, as Nichelle stated, that he was hit. As a matter of fact, even before the moment that they're no. See how this works is you shut the fuck up when I talk, and I'm gonna try to be
y'all.
nice.
I'm not talking. I have
I'm gonna try to be
self-control.
nice.
Hold on. Yeah, no. But we gotta. Let's not curse. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm working on it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I have an issue with
Come on.
with
Go ahead.
censorship. My bad, y'all. Okay, so I need you to be quiet. Okay, so anyway, even the moment that is in question of whether or not he was hit, one SHOT had already been fired at that point. So that's actually a moot point at this moment in time. However, to address what OD was saying, I think that we can all agree that, especially when it comes to people of color, this woman is not a person of color who is the victim. However, we can all sit here and say that ideally, yes, it's best to comply and sue them later because of the fact that like they are trigger happy. They do target people of color. So we do understand that when it comes to that aspect. However, We're getting lost in the weeds at this point because we're ignoring the blatant facts. Number one blatant fact, I will reiterate, ICE does not have jurisdiction over United States citizens. Period. End of sentence. They are not authorized to detain them at all in any capacity, any whatsoever. Additionally, we have countless evidence of video footage this year alone of ICE when people are complying, putting their hands in the air, dragging these people out and beating them on the ground. They had a woman in Chicago who was pregnant. She complied. They drug her on her stomach on the ground. So at some point, I need us to stop with the goddamn respectability politics of whether complying works or not. And we need to, can you please go on mute? And we need to address the fact.
So real quick, the chat's flagging misinformation. Matt and folks who were saying that, please tell me specifically, and then I'll have Catalina address, okay? So again, it goes both ways.
Tell me what I lied about, because homie, I don't lie.
Yeah, it goes both ways. So just let me know. I'll try to flag it in the chat. Go ahead, Ronnie. I think Ronnie wants to say something really quick.
Can I land real quick? Yeah. I'm just landing real quick. At some point, it has to be a question about that because compliance is not always the answer. And even when people are complying, they are still losing their lives and they are still being injured in the process. And there are still illegal detainments. So I understand the whole concept of listen first and sue later, or whatever the case is, beat the case later. But in this particular instance, we have to address the fact that this was an illegal stop in the first place, and it was an illegal, and there was no justifiable use of force. That has to be addressed regardless of whether you think she complied sufficiently or not.
All right. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Thanks, Smitty. I just want to add one thing, or just one more source. Fox News. I know it's this is not what I was expecting, but this is going to fall flat on Envy and every Republican's face. Fox News posted the video that came out earlier today, and they said in the article, and I can, I'm going to flip the camera really quick so you guys can see that I'm looking at Fox News. This
For the
is
record, I'm not a Republican.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying, for anyone that's defending ICE's actions, this is for them. Okay, and I'm gonna read it. Nick, in the comments, if you don't like me raising my hand to get to be able to go, you can leave. I really don't give a fuck. In the article, it says, when Good attempted to drive off, it appeared that the person recording the video had to quickly jump out of the way, after which gunshots rang out. She did not hit him. He jumped out of the way. That's according to Fox News's analysis. And then, this is just to set some context about the person that fired the shots, because they might have some sort of motive behind their actions in the first place. They stated the ICE officer who fatally shot Good has been identified.
TikTok-friendly language, please.
What is it?
TikTok-friendly language.
The ICE officer who fatally shot Good has been identified as Jonathan Ross. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed to Fox 9 that the officer who fired his weapon, his pew-pew on Wednesday, is the same officer who was dragged 50 yards by a suspect in a vehicle back in June. So this officer has experience of using brutal force and with people in vehicles and getting attacked by other people. So there's definitely a motive for him to want to draw his weapon on someone, even if they are complying with his orders. When you see the video, this is now not a response to OD, who has since dropped, but based on what she was saying earlier, she stated that, Renee was very emotional. If she saw the video, she would see that she was very calm and very respectful when she said, "I'm not mad at you. It's all good," in a very calm voice. So this officer had motive to want to draw his pew-pew from his holster and attack, even though he was not in any danger, and she was driving in the opposite direction, not going towards him.
Okay, let's do this. Let me get the new panelists' perspective, then we'll go to Saji. Kendu, how are you? What are your thoughts? Did the new video change your mind as to whether this was? How'd you feel about it? What do you think? Kendu, you're on mute if you're speaking.
I don't know if you guys seen the body cam video.
What did you think of it?
Well, when he
It's not body
switches,
cam, by the way, real quick. It's his cell phone footage. But go ahead.
okay, whatever.
Can I finish my point after he goes?
Yes.
Because I never got to finish my point.
I will definitely give you an opportunity. Give God.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Yes.
When he
Go ahead,
when
Kendrick.
he switched the phone over from one hand to the other and brandished his weapon prior to moving in front of the vehicle, that's premeditated. There's he was the aggressor in that situation. I have a CCW, and it's like, yes, he has a thing, and we could talk about immunity later. But again, as far as escalations and rules, I think him and the engagement he had with her significant other or partner or wife got him upset, and he came, and put himself in that situation. And you get dragged by a car, that's the second time you're doing too much. I mean, there's a hero complex where, you want to be an action hero or something. But if you don't hang on the side of a vehicle, there's license plates, there's ways that you can recover, get the police involved. They didn't need to do that. And,
agent as well. There definitely should be more coverage on that. I agree with you. Kendi, I'm gonna let you down. Thank you. I'm looking for folks who feel like this was more so justified.
Hoodie, this
Give me a
is a
second,
quick
Kelly.
question for you.
I promise. Give me a second, y'all.
No. This is just
No,
for
yeah,
you
but
real
give me a
quick
second. Give me a second. Give me a second.
No, I know.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, after everybody goes through this next round, can we maybe talk about the immunity thing? Because I have some sources on that. If we just after everybody goes through the next round, though, I'm good. I just wanted to bring that up. Okay.
Let me go to Give God. Give God, go ahead. I know you felt like you didn't get a chance to completely.
I didn't get a chance to finish my thoughts.
Go ahead, and then we'll go to Saji.
So let me start by saying this. I'm a mother of 2 Black boys, and we teach them how to comply so that they will come home safely. And that's 101. And I agree with OD when she said that the fact that they wasn't taught that, when Malcolm X, when they protested in the 60s, they did so peacefully so that people could make it home. And these new protesters, they don't protest the same way. On the video, if you watched it, it came out about an hour ago. It's on all the major news networks. You could hear the wife yelling obscenities. And that doesn't justify the shooting, but those are all going to be mitigating circumstances. She was yelling, she was cursing, and she told her to drive. Then she accelerated and she hit the officer. And I don't care. That's what my eyes saw. And if that's what my eyes saw, I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of people's eyes saw. She told her to drive, and she hit the officer. Now, as far as the legality, when they go to court about it, he's not going to go to jail over this. When they go to court, he will be found innocent. The only thing that she probably can do is file a civil suit against ICE because ICE has done a lot of wrong. They wear masks. They don't have badges, all of that. But as far as the actual incident, he's gonna get off.
Okay, so real quick, Give God, I know it's the first time you're on my panel. If you see my hand up, that means I got to come in, right? Because you did mention, now she did say it was her opinion that she thought he got hit. However, Nichelle, if you want to address really quick, right, that piece one more time. We got new people that come in, so if you could do that one more time.
No, I understand.
Then I want to go to Saji, and then let me get we got 4. I can get 2 more panelists up. Go ahead.
Real quick, just for the 1,000 people in here. Again, it's not conclusive. And I respect the fact that she said that that's what her eyes saw. I respect the fact that maybe not everybody has seen all of the different angles and videos. Just real quick, let's clear some things up. It wasn't body cam. That was his cell phone, number one. Number two, she wasn't cursing. Renee was not cursing at all. If you watch, that's what I'm encouraging everyone to do. If you want to, be part of this, just so we don't get off on the weeds on misinformation, please go look at the video. It's been released on all outlets, both print, digital, and corporate media. The video's been released, and you'll see Renee, actually her last and final words were, "Hey dude, I'm not mad at you." She was not cursing. She was not yelling. She wasn't doing any of that. The wife on the opposite side, when the agent's video pans over to her, she says, "Hey, you know what you need to do? You know what you need to do, tough guy?" And I'm quoting. She says, "You need to go have some lunch." The last word that she heard was the agent yelling expletives, calling her an effing B. And that's after he discharged his weapon. So again, that's not my opinion. Please, 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 I'm begging you guys to take a second, step away, go Google the video real quick. It's on all media. It's both conservative, mainstream, center, doesn't matter. It's on all media. Please go view that before saying something like she was yelling and cursing and being combative, because that's we're going to flag it for misinformation every single time.
And the acceleration point. She did not accelerate until she had already been SHOT.
Let me go to Saji. Go ahead, Saji. Your opening thought: did the video that the federal government released change your mind or not? And then we'll go to Simply. And if you do agree with Give God and her perspective, please, if you're in the request, put a 1. I'll get you up to balance the panel. Go ahead, Saji.
Hi, Smitty. Thank you for having me. Deep breath. I know it's aggravating. I'll say, if I could take a super quick statement of that and then say what I wanted to really say, but it's up to you.
Go ahead.
I'll say the new video did not change my mind. It just confirmed that he was not hit. Okay. What I'll say, if Odam is still listening, I don't know if she's here, put something in the chat if you're still listening.
You want to address her?
Just the general message of what I've been hearing. If she's here, it applies to her. It's not necessarily a response to her, but it's just in general.
Okay, yeah, just make it more general. That's fine.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think what we're seeing a lot is this unspoken, right? This unspoken righteous anger, that this is something that's been happening to Black people, is something that's been happening to brown people, and nobody gives a damn. Nobody sits down and says, remember their name. Nobody tries to get all angles, and we usually find people justifying it. It's always, well, they look like they were going to do something, or they were using smugs, right? And that seems to be the narrative, or they were part of some G group. And now when we're seeing a white T woman, it's a lot of people that are coming out to defend them. And again, I feel like two things can be true at once. She was not guilty. She did not hit the officer. They had no right to do what they did. However, white T people have been allowing for this to happen. They have been allowing for the police and for ICE agents to work above the law and unalive people who were just walking around, who were just trying to go to school, who were just driving. And no amount of peace and no amount of compliance has ever meant that they were safe. Now, I think the anger is that this argument could be used for a lot of cases, right? But yet it is being used now for a white T woman.
Let me see, Rick.
And I'm not making it about me.
Real quick. Rick is flagging for misinformation. He says, if you interfere with them, they can confront you. If you want to come up, Rick, feel free to address what you feel is a misinformation.
I did have the video slowed down as well.
But we pulled up the statute real quick, okay? Because I'm starting to get a little irritated. We gotta stay in order, y'all. Okay? I don't care if I love you, if you're the first time on my panel. That's the one thing that really irritates me, y'all. Okay? I don't care if I've been mutuals with you for 5 years, 10 seconds, I do not care. Y'all got to stay in order, okay? I got a specific way I want this run. Let me go. Saji, were you done? So we addressed the misinformation. Rick, if you want to come up, I'll let you come up.
Yeah, if he wants to come up, she did not interfere. We could see her car, and I have the video muted and slowed down. I'm sure we've all seen it, but if people here haven't seen it, she backed up, and then the wheels turned to the right. And we see, even if you look at the back of the video all the way to the left, you see one of the agents jump down and he slipped on the ice. The officer on the back of the one that pew-pewed slipped on the ice. They were not hit. They literally slipped on the ice. The car never touched them. So.
Okay. Thank you, Saji. We're going to go to Simply, and we will go to, and then we'll drop it back down to Catalina. And I'll try to read comments. Again, we got a lot of folks who do agree with Give God and certainly have contrasting opinions to those on the panel. Put a 1 if you're in the request, if you have a contrasting view, but please let it be a contrasting view. I will bring you up and we'll balance out the panel. If not, you're obviously more than welcome to stay in the comments. Just please be respectful. Simply, what are your thoughts, fam? What do you think about this new video that came out, and did it change your mind?
Hey, Smitty. No, it didn't change my mind. Thanks for having me up here.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to remind people, because I'm hearing a lot of discourse on, attitude and disposition and things like that. So if you don't mind, I wanted to comment on that, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I just want to say, having an attitude, being scared, yelling, cussing, or being upset is not a crime, and it does not justify detention, escalation, lethal force, because they should not be judge, jury, and executioner. I mean, I don't comprehend that. There is no law that allows officers, but may I say, because these are not police officers, okay? I was trying to get my sister, that's a state trooper, up here so she could explain it as well. But to detain someone for being rude, use force because someone is emotional, or escalate because a family member is yelling. Speech, even angry speech, is still constitutionally protected, or at least it's supposed to be. I mean, and so the burden of proof is the burden. Trust, I feel like it benefits everyone. So we have to be careful with that, because we're setting a precedence that this is supposed to be normal. This is supposed to be expected because they think that they're above the law. And just because they're federal agents, that does not mean that they don't have to comply with local and state laws. And I feel like when I'm hearing people talk, well, they're ICE. ICE does not mean that they don't have to follow local laws. And you had literally, Smitty, did you see the video of the sheriff from Philadelphia speaking and saying, if you come in our city and doing this, you will be arrested and you will not make it out the city. So you have a lot of places saying you're not coming in here with that because it's not okay, meaning they saw something and have been seeing things that's not being done correctly. So, I'll leave it there, but something has to be done. I also did see certain states and townships asking if they could have escorts where ICE has to some type of way where they could alert the city or the state that they're coming in to get certain people with judicial warrants, so they're not out here arresting and violating the rights of U.S. citizens.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Simply. Appreciate your opening comment. Good evening, Erica. Hope you're doing well. I am looking for opposition. So to the folks that are on the panel, if you agree with Give God, please put a 1 in if you are in the request. Let's do this, though. We'll broaden it out a little bit. If you feel that this was more so justified, put a 1. If you feel this was completely unjustified, put a 2. And I'm going to interject something really quick as well, if we can get another person. Okay, we got mostly 2s, but we do have a few 1s that are in the chat. So if you feel like you want to come up and you want to opine, feel free. Okay, we run a respectful panel, as you can see, and I'd love to hear from you. Okay, the question was, if you feel this was justified, put a 1. Unjustified, Schmurder, put a 2. All right. Thank you, Heather. Much love to you as always. You are amazing. Thank you for the consistent support. Jen, thank you so much as well. You're amazing as well. Appreciate all the info that you share with me as well. Let me take this from to a different point that I have been thinking about, right? And I want to ask, since we have a panel of all women, I've been very outspoken on other panels where I'm not modding, right, or not being a moderator and conducting a panel around, the way the agents approach the vehicle and how I did not feel that was de-escalating the situation. And I want to know how the panelists feel about that part of it before this happened. And did you feel that was an appropriate way or not to approach the vehicle? So Catalina, we'll start with you. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely inappropriate. And honestly, I think before we saw this most recent video, there was some question as to where the officer who fired his pew-pew actually came from, whether he came from the other vehicle, whether he had been, which direction he was coming from. So right before I got sent this video, I got sent one more point of view that showed him walking around the car with his phone out, but you still couldn't see where he came from, but at least it was confirmation that he was walking around the car filming. With this one, we know that he came out of the vehicle that was in front of her. The reason why that's important to understand, this was not another vehicle, because the way that people were trying to frame this initially was that there were multiple cars blocking traffic, preventing ICE from doing their job. That was an ICE vehicle. So now we know for a fact that an ICE vehicle was blocking her and that another ICE vehicle approached her. When we talk about how the official statement from DHS 30 minutes after this woman's been pronounced unalived, they tried to state that ICE agents were stuck in the snow and that she prevented their cars from being able to get out. All of the video evidence now proves one was blocking her and the other one approached her perfectly fine. And the way that they got out of the car, yes, they absolutely escalated the situation. And the reason why I keep reiterating that ICE agents do not have authority to arrest U.S. citizens is because it's relevant in how they approached her. That has to be taken into consideration. And I just want to, and I apologize for earlier, Smitty. Sometimes it's because my ADD and I want to be like real quick, hey, remind me when it is my turn to say this. So it's not me trying to jump in. But I do want to touch on the immunity, and I can wait to go into more detail. The claim that is made by JD Vance is unequivocally false. ICE agents do not have absolute immunity. What they have in some instances is called qualified immunity due to an executive order earlier this year that was not typical before the Trump administration. And you can look at this at the American Immigration Council. You can also look at the sources from Al Jazeera, and you can also look at the actual statutes themselves governing DHS. So there is no absolute immunity for federal officers. And yes, they are required. This is the part that people I think are missing, because a lot of people are saying, if you're interfering with an operation, once again, no, they are required by law. 287G is the program to cooperate with local law enforcement if any determinations have to be made with regarding a U.S. citizen. So yes, to land, absolute immunity is 100% false. And as far as those ICE agents, they absolutely escalated because they were not in any danger at that moment. And she was already being blocked by another ICE officer, which we now have confirmation from his own cell phone video.
Okay. Thank you, Catalina. Let me go real quick in the show. Give me a second. Let me just go to Tyler, new panelist. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this video change your mind, and what did you think about what happened in Minneapolis?
First of all, I think the entire situation is shitty. I don't think she deserved to die. Personally, any death is horrible in my eyes. I'm Catholic. But
careful with the language, though. Careful. You got to say like unalived and stuff like that. We don't want Smitty's live to get flagged.
My bad.
Yeah.
But at least how I saw it in the video, she did accelerate the vehicle at him. The tire spun out. The cop was in front of the vehicle at the time. I would give him the benefit of the doubt. He did have reason to fire.
Okay.
like justified reason, I would say.
Okay. All right. Anybody, Michelle, Saji, simply want to take what Tyler said?
Also, one other thing, I actually have an image of his body actually being against the car when he like did it. So he did get hit by the car. Whether it was
like, you show the image. Is it real quick? Is it a still image?
Yes, it's a still image. It's a frame of the video I was able to find.
Yeah, I can respond to that. I can respond to that real quick. So a couple of things, and I appreciate that. One thing separate I want to address. So the mods are in here. If we see anything like disrespectful, Islamophobic, anything like that, you're going to be muted from this live, like no question. Like I'm not giving any warnings with that, so please be respectful. I'm going to respond to him real quick, but one thing I want to point out in response to your question, Smitty, which I thought was a really good one, it's interesting, right? So we as women, we have, especially if I'll just leave it at women, period, right? I think it is interesting to see how women are responding to this, right? Especially what we're seeing in the video. We recognize aggression. I think more people need to be talking about that second, shorter agent who jumps out of the car. You can see he does no talking at all, bum rushes the side of her car and starts pulling at the handle as she's trying to pull away. Okay, that is aggressive. I also want to point out that if you think that the women, you guys, you men, I'm talking to you men in the chat because I see your comments. Oh, not a panel of smart women. Oh, crazy women up here. We see that you're literally making our point. You're literally kind of making our point about how this can be construed. Now, this goes to, his intent, right? And that's going to be with all the video footage that we have. But I do think it's fascinating, Smitty, to see the different responses sometimes with how men may view this and how women on your panels have been viewing this. It was aggressive, and I don't see, and what legal analysts are all talking about is the whole point is to de-escalate. We're all putting the focus on her, but I don't feel like enough people are talking about all of the agents involved. The one that drove around when she wove, her arm was outside the window and she waves, and the first SUV goes around her. That doesn't seem aggressive. The video that came out today showing where she's saying, "Hey man, hey, it's okay. I'm not mad at you." She was responding to him, videoing her. The wife, another female, responding and saying, "You know what, tough guy, you know what? Yeah, you need to go have yourself some lunch." A lot of men who agree that it was unjustified, Smitty, are pointing out that was pointing to a man's, aggression, wanting to feel like he wasn't going to be outdone by a woman, right? The last thing that I will say when we're talking about, Carolina, thank you so much for pulling up that absolute immunity. I think that needs to be discussed. And I have the actual statutes and the legal precedences, the court cases from the Supreme Court, not anecdotal evidence, that supports that what Carolina was talking about. But to Ty's response, I just want to point out legally, every single pew has to be justified. Every single one. There were 1, 2, 3 pews that we have all seen. Each one of them.
That is true.
Yeah, each one of them, my friend.
I would say one thing.
Let me finish. I'm landing. I'm landing, and I'm not debating with you, my friend, at all. We're just having a conversation. I just want to let everybody know each and every pew has to be justified. Every single one. So the first one, the second one, the third one, they're not taken together.
All right, Tyler, go ahead. Quick response, and then I want to go to Give God.
Yeah. I think that last point she made is a very good point. Each single bullet needs to be justified, and that's where it becomes questionable. I think the first bullet was most definitely justified because when you see in the video, the tire spun out. The tire didn't spun out. He most likely would have been hit by the vehicle, which is attempt with a deadly weapon. The other two bullets, I didn't see entirely, so I don't know if those were completely justified.
On the video, and chat, check me, right, if I'm wrong. But to your point, Tyler, right, what I saw in the video was I feel like I could see her arm kind of crank the steering wheel to the right. Did you see that too, chat? And Tyler, did you see that? So when you say,
no, I'll look more at it later and see if I can see that. But I didn't see that when I was watching it.
Okay.
I'm open to the
on this
the
video, by the way. I'm
argument
talking about
that
on this video. Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Give God. What do you think about how the agents approach the vehicle? What do you think? What do you think about that part?
Okay, so I watched the video again while everyone was talking. The one agent was cursing, and the wife was cursing back at him. I think the issue isn't gonna be whether or not he killed her, he unalived her, like I said before. I think the issue is gonna be the civil lawsuit is the issue. I think that the wife has a better lawsuit and a civil complaint, and that's the purpose of qualified immunity, is so that she can't sue the officer. She can only sue the government.
Right. But don't you think? Give God real quick, y'all. Don't you think that the de-escalation is a really big point? Because listen, and I know we've talked about the amount of training that folks get, but if real quick, let me just get this out, and I'll let you respond. Right. If you are any type of agent or police officer, whatever it may be, to me, the de-escalation part is so huge because, hey, everybody wants to come back, right, in one piece and live. And I would think that de-escalation, right, would be really, really important to that point, right, before it gets to a point where you got to discharge your weapon justifiably or not. And so it feels like folks are kind of brushing this piece off, but I feel like this is really important.
Well, I think the issue they will have
give me 1 second, Tyler.
The issue that they will have in proving that he didn't de-escalate it is because they was following him all day and protesting all day.
Once again, we cannot confirm that. That has not been confirmed. You have to stop saying things.
Well, it can be confirmed now. Let me
lived on the block.
Please let me explain. The reason we know she was following him, if you watch that video carefully, they recognize each other and they're communicating to each other. And she tells him, "You don't have to take another video of my license plate. It's not going to change. It's the same license plate you've seen all day." She says it on the video.
That's not how she said that.
Real quick, let me let Nichelle address, and then I want to go.
But I never finished my point.
I know, but they flagged it for misinformation. So
but it's not misinformation. She said that.
Sorry, Indy. I'm so sorry, my friend. I promise you, I know it's frustrating to be interrupted. I'm so sorry. That is 1000% misinformation.
No, it's not. I'm tired of this shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. But there are 800 people in here, and I've got to let you guys. I didn't mean for her to drop y'all. I promise. I think it's critically important that this is part of the issue, maybe in the frustration, is that we're all looking at the same thing, but we're drawing different conclusions. What she was saying about the fact that they knew each other, no one, not one single person, not Fox, not AP, not News Nation, not Reuters, no one is confirming that statement about that was put out at first, yes, but they have pulled that back. They're not saying that anymore. It's not that they didn't know each other. That response that she's talking about that was on that video of the agent's video, the response was when she said was, "Hey, it's okay if you're videoing me," because he was videoing her. That's his viewpoint, right? She's responding and she's saying, "Hey, it's okay. I'm not mad at you." When he goes to get her license plate, the wife responds and says, and again, this is on his agent's video that was released today. The wife says to the agent, "Hey, it's okay. We'll still be here tomorrow. You can get our."
She said it'll still be the same license plate later.
Tomorrow.
When you come talk to us later. She never said anything about all day or anything like that.
Correct. Yeah. So she was not following around. But I understand where she would have come from with that, because that was a narrative that DHS put out. But again, his video was leaked to conservative media, hoping that it would corroborate the story, but it didn't. So that's where that came from. She wasn't being followed. She wasn't following him around, and she's not a protester, as Carolina said. She was actually on her street. If you listen to the many videos that have come out and the interviews, the first eyewitness statements, they're all saying she was our neighbor. She lived on this street.
Okay. Thank you, Nichelle. Will Saji, what do you think about how the ICE agents approach the car?
What I think is they were definitely trying to escalate things. They were trying to make an example out of her. And I'll say this, and this goes to God or whatever her name was that was under me. We shouldn't have to teach our children or have to teach ourselves how to react to a cop. Okay? That is their job. Their job is to de-escalate. Their job is to manage a situation in a way that is not going to cost human lives, that is not going to put other people at risk. A pew pew for 21 years. This might well be the first time that she's ever been approached by a cop with a pew pew to her face. I don't understand why it is our responsibility. And I do understand from ODAM's point of view that this is something that's been taught in the Black community since children are small. But again, it shouldn't be that way. These officers, these ICE agents should be emotionally round, emotionally stable enough to be handling civilians. It shouldn't be our damn responsibility to not freak out. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. If a cop pulls in front of my car with a pew pew and he's all screaming and cursing at me, I'm probably gonna try to take off. But it's his responsibility, and we see on the video that he had already recorded her license plate. They could have very well cooperated with law enforcement and put out an arrest warrant and gotten her arrested. She hadn't harmed anybody, but guess what? They did. They did unalive her. And I hope that something is done about it, to be honest, Mitty. This whole immunity is bullshit.
All right. Thank you, Saj. Or thank you, Saja. I'm responding to Saj in the chat. Simply, what are your thoughts about how the ICE agents approached the vehicle? And then Tyler, you'll be next.
I thought that it was aggressive. There was nothing about their approach to me that screamed, hey, yes, we're, immigration or, ICE enforcement. We need you. Can you please move? There was no conversation. I felt like where it was respectful from them. It was just terrible. It's just saying, cause I even thought too, as being a frontline worker as well, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, does this woman possibly have anxiety? I'm just thinking about anything. Again, you have to de-escalate. And I just felt like they failed on that part right there. But I wanted to lay this out clearly too, because I found this. My sister just sent me this over, and she's a PA state trooper. She said that all law enforcement across the U.S. is trained on this one core principle. A moving vehicle is a potential deadly weapon, which means officers must avoid positioning themselves in its path. Because of this, officers are trained not to step in front of vehicles. Officers are trained not to reach into moving vehicles. Officers are trained to disengage, not to escalate when the vehicle pulls away unless there is an immediate threat to another life. Now, what I find interesting, and I'm looking at the video from the BBC News, they slowed it down and literally frame by frame circle things. Because he pew-pewed her, she almost hit a lady with her car when she accelerated, probably after she got hit across the street. She almost hit a lady, and I saw the lady's interview. Almost hit the lady. So where she crashed into that other car, that lady, it could have hit her. So we have to please keep that in mind too. But no, Smitty, to your question, I feel as a woman, I would have been, as a woman, I would have been terrified had that been me in this situation, because from the way that they approached her, even I feel like if she was moving her car, I'm from Philly. We bust U's all the time. That street was big enough for them. That street was big enough to bust a U. That's what we call it, to do a U-turn. So it looks like she could have went either way. But the BBC, I actually put it down in the chat. Do you have a second page or somewhere that I can send you this video? Because they literally go frame by frame, circling each agent, showing where it does not look like she was trying to hit them. She was actually trying to move away from him. And it shows him drawing his weapon as she's turning away from him. away, not towards him, but away from him. So based on what my sister just sent me, he didn't even follow the rules of engaging with a vehicle.
Okay. All right. No, thank you, Simply. Let's go with Tyler. Tyler, what do you think about how they approach the vehicle?
First of all, Simply, I would love to see that video just so I can get more insight on it. But so from what I'm understanding, first of all, if a federal officer of any sort like tells you to get out of a vehicle or anything like that, like I said, it's a crappy situation, but trying to flee in general just wasn't a smart move. She could have here's the thing. I much would have rather her, even so if it was like a social injustice or something like that. Yeah.
In the chat, y'all let me know, right? My understanding is that if you are an ICE agent, you do not have the authority to pull over a U.S. citizen or to to detain a U.S. citizen. And that's my understanding. Tyler. So, maybe
Trump made the executive order for that, did he not? Gave him
take that on the panel.
He has qualified immunity. They have qualified immunity in certain circumstances when it comes to lawsuits, except for when they are in violation of state and federal constitutional laws, in which case immunity does not apply, which is the case here. And if I can go after him to address a couple things, but I'll go back on mute.
Okay.
And just to follow up, Ty, on that, I would encourage you, because I know it can be very confusing, especially when the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, who, by the way, has a Juris Doctorate from Yale. I have seen every single solitary attorney, every single one. I watched them on Fox. I watched them on ABC today. I saw them quoted in Reuters. Every single one of them has said that what J.D. Vance said was wrong. And he is banking on that propaganda, knowing that people may not be able to, go and look at all the statutes. And I won't bore you with all of that, but I'm more than happy to send you. I would encourage everybody to go and look at Reb for Rebrand, REB from Rebrand. She did a phenomenal breakdown of not just the DHS memo that Carolina was referencing to, but for constitutional court cases going back about 20 years ish, and then some recent ones that I've been trying to put in the chat for people to reference, because you are correct. It is going to go, before a court of law. And that's a whole discussion right now too, with the FBI holding back evidence and things like that. If anybody watched the press conference that Trump had today with the oil execs, there were people that were talking about Minneapolis as well. But yeah, that's correct. Because he's a federal agent, J.D. Vance came out and said that he had imminent that he had immunity, but he does not. That is just literally no one, even people who kind of sort of agreed or were trying to justify it. Attorneys have come out and said that's just fundamentally not true. And I have those sources if you need them.
All right, thank you. We're gonna go.
Did he land?
He landed. Give me one second. We're gonna go kind of to just. I'm gonna let folks up for one comment, so you'll be able to come up, one comment, and then I'm gonna let you go, because it doesn't look like we have any more folks that want to come up that agree with Tyler.
I have to go here soon.
Okay, yeah, you want to say
so
final comment?
if someone wants to take my place that supports the Justified, yeah, I'll say one more thing. From the angles that I seen on the video, I saw like a frame of where his body actually made contact with the vehicle. Just
you have it saved in your phone, you can put the green screen option on and share it. Because I did want to be able to address something you said before you leave, if you have a moment.
yeah, I have a moment. I can send one of you guys in DMs one of the photos if you want to bring it up. I have no clue how to do it.
You can send it to me. This
Hold
is
up.
Can I respond to him while he's doing that?
Yeah,
Sven?
go ahead, and then I want to let Simply get in. Go ahead.
Number two, we now have confirmation that he got out of the vehicle in front of her, which was the car blocking her. Okay. Number three, he was able to circle the vehicle. I want everybody to pay attention to that instead of Simply's got, so I don't know if you want to give her the big screen. Well, I'll pause. Yeah. Can you pan over to the, okay, there we go.
Window and tries to open the car. From this angle, you can't see if the car made contact with the agent, but there is a video from another angle which appears to show the car may have made some form of contact with the agent before the first shot can be heard. The footage is filmed from a distance, so it's hard to be clear. After the shots, the woman's car veers off the road and crashes into a parked vehicle. In the aftermath, the officer who fired pulls his weapon.
She doesn't accelerate, as people are saying, until the SHOT has already been fired. That's important because we cannot use the argument that he was in fear for his life because she accelerated if he had already fired his weapon when she accelerated. That's another point. Additionally, the reason why I bring up him walking around, if they wanted her out of the vehicle or if they wanted her to leave the area, why is he circling her vehicle, preventing her from leaving, and parking in front of her, preventing her from leaving? Like, you guys, we have to look at the objective facts, not just what people want. What I feel that there is an issue is that people hate immigrants, and they hate the fact that a white woman was using her privilege to allegedly defend immigrants, if that's in fact what she was doing. There's no proof of that. But the last thing I want to say before everybody goes next is the respectability politics keeps being brought up. OD brought it up. The God-given whatever brought it up. Tyler brought it up. People are bringing it up in the chat. They're like, her wife used was cursing at him. No, there's a difference between using an expletive in the middle of your sentence and cursing.
I don't think I brought that up.
Okay, well, maybe you didn't. Okay, however, several other people did. There's a difference between using an expletive. She said a former effing, and I think she was saying soldier for herself. She wasn't calling him anything. She wasn't saying F you. She wasn't saying anything towards him. Nothing like that. Like, this whole, I don't know where y'all grew up and leave it to Beavertown where people don't use cuss words. Like, it's just crazy to me. But that's everyday language for the majority of us. However,
freedom of speech.
However, I'm not done. However, that still, none of that is justifiable. If you are that weak of a man, you can't stand hearing a woman say the F word. Like, please go put your panties back on and go to fucking therapy. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I do curse a lot, so I apologize. But that is very important. And respectability politics, I'm going to land on this. When Martin Luther King and the Freedom Riders were marching, they were dressed in their Sunday best. They got beaten. When the Chicano students were doing their walkouts peacefully with their hands up to demand access to equal education, they were beaten. When Native Americans were praying at Standing Rock, protesting the pipelines, they were unarmed and they were pepper sprayed and had dogs sicked on them. Respectability politics will not save us. So y'all sitting here trying to say she used a curse word, y'all need to miss me with that. Y'all need to miss me with this. We have to be polite to people who are enacting state-sanctioned violence against us. It is never going to save us. Like, y'all, please be for real. And I'll land on that and I'll wait.
Thank you, Carolina. Let me go up top to J.A. Oh, yeah, give me 1 second, y'all, because we're going to go kind of rapid here. Sarah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Coop, love the username, by the way. I'm a Laker fan. I don't know if that's in reference to my boy Michael Cooper, but I love the username either way. J.A. Corey, what are your thoughts? Rapid fire. We're going to let a couple people up, and we might be wrapping up here, but rapid thought. What do you think about what happened? Or if you want to ask the panelists a question, go ahead.
All right. I just wanted to ask you a quick question as someone who's like in between. You know, I can understand the officer's point of view. I know it sounds crazy, but from you guys on the panel, if you know, was she actually blocking them from getting through? Like, and also, is he really in the wrong? That's just my two questions.
Okay, so it sounds like you, J.A., you're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I am.
You are somewhere in the middle. Okay, all right. Let me go to Simply. I think Simply wanted to jump in. Go ahead, Simply. What do you think?
Yeah, I showed the video, but I was going to say I don't feel like the video like proves a point. Oh, well, she hit him. I'm from Philly. I've driven in Boston. I used to live in Boston. I'm used to driving in ice and snow, and I'm sitting here watching her turn her car away from him. And this reminds me of something that recently just happened in Texas, where they had an officer who 3 times in his most recently in the last couple of years, he has jumped and positioned himself in front of vehicles so he could pew people, and then open an investigation, because why you keep having these same situations happen over and over again. And so if I put myself in the line in the vehicle, then I can say X, Y, Z, because if that goes against their training to do that, but yet to me in this vehicle, I see him position himself in a way. I don't see him getting away from the vehicle like they're trained to do. Okay, so that's problematic to me. But also, guys, federal immigration law applies to non-citizens only. ICE does not have the authority under immigration statutes to detain, arrest, or deport American citizens. So meaning, like, if they had an issue with her, to me, they should have called the local authorities if they had an issue with her. I just feel like this could have been handled differently. It did not. The end, like, she lost her life. And Smitty, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Do you know that her biological child's father, was a Air Force veteran, served in Afghanistan, and now this child is without both of his biological parents?
Yeah.
This child. So I don't see how that justifies, this. I've seen people. I had a friend that was deployed, and he was given the order. He was given the order to take out a 10-year-old child in Afghanistan, and he disobeyed that order. The child wanted to see he wanted to meet American soldiers. So he went running up to a group of American soldiers, but you guys know that there used to be people that would arm their children or themselves with things. And at the time, he had 5 kids of his own, and he decided to disobey that. He said, I looked at several factors. I looked at, the boy had joy on his face. He said, I'm looking at his body. He said, I just couldn't do it. But come to find out, he was right. The little boy didn't have anything on him. And that moment, yes, he was given that order. He could have did that, but he was literally using his critical thinking skills in situations. I've never been, hey, I need to see your ID. No, I've never had anyone do that. Just FYI. So.
Okay.
So, okay, sorry.
Go ahead, Michelle. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say that did come up as well. I'm just going to repeat back the analysis that I heard on that. Is that if you saw the video, the woman who shot that video came up and did an interview. The one that's yelling, not the one that's yelling shame, shame, shame. It's another video where she's saying, he's a doctor, and you can see him raise his hands. He says, I'm a doctor. And the first agent says, I don't care. And then the second agent, who has his hands on his weapon, says, we have our own people. The person that was videoing says, then where are they? I would just like to also point out that when we're looking at these videos, if you look back at the video, there were several ICE SUVs and cars on that street. It was a one-way street. They abandoned their vehicles after the situation. I don't want to call it reduce it to incident, but I'm trying to be TikTok safe. They abandoned their vehicles. They grabbed the agent and took him out of there and then abandoned the vehicles. The reason it took EMS 15 minutes to get there, it's not because they didn't care. It's because they could not get the ambulance physically down the street to where Renee's car was. They ended up going on foot to her and trying to render aid, and then ended up taking her out on a stretcher. So the analysis about the doctor goes both. There's two schools of thoughts. You know, it was an emergency situation. They could have allowed him to help. And then other people were saying, there's nothing like by law that says, oh, if a person says they're a nurse or a doctor or someone, you know, it's up to whoever's at the scene to allow. And unfortunately, they chose not to. But for the EMS piece of it, a lot of people were saying, oh, it took them 15 minutes. It took them 15 minutes because the ICE agents after that situation, very untrained, left all of their cars scattered in the street and the ambulance could not get down the road.
Okay. All right. J.A., thank you for coming up, man. Anything else you want to say real quick? 30 seconds.
No, I'm good. Thank y'all.
Yeah. Thank you for coming up. Appreciate you. Whew, excuse me, y'all. All right. Let me get like one or two other people up and we will probably be done.
I'm probably actually also gonna leave here as well. So
yeah, you want to say something final? Appreciate you, Bubby.
No, I think I covered most of the points I had with it, how I thought it was justified. But yeah, you guys have a nice rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Appreciate you coming up. All right, it's working. Let's go to Steven. Steven, what would you like to share with us today?
Wow, this is really painful for me, this whole thing. And it never should have happened. It was unprofessional. It was not how law enforcement should be acting. And at the end of the day, I'm saying it. I'm so sorry, sir. I hope it doesn't hurt your life. This is the Gestapo. Okay? We can't have this. We need to stand up to this immediately. This is a place where we need to stop and let them know we ain't having this shit. Fuck you. We lived it. I lived it. We can't continue to do this. This is evil stuff. They have no business to shoot that woman. Nobody did. He stepped away from the car out of danger and shot her 3 times. He didn't pull the trigger until he was out of the way, and he was never supposed to be in front of her. It's not the way law enforcement works. They cannot put themselves in front of a car to make them stop. This is evil, and we need to fight from here. We cannot let this stand. This is the end. This is where they're coming after us.
All right.
This can't happen again. We can't have the Gestapo again, because that's what he's making. Okay. And he doesn't want it, but he's allowing it to happen. It's got to be done. And hi, Nichelle, I'm glad you're here. I hope I'm not offending you. But God, why is this so hard? Why are we having a conversation? A mother of 3 was shot in the head because she wanted to drive away from
Stephen, we just got to be careful with the language. That's all.
Stop it.
Just got to be careful with the language. Go ahead. It's not my rules. If you were in my living room, I would not.
I'm trying, but This is too much. This is where we are. We can't allow this. We cannot allow this. We need to tell these people they can go do whatever they want with themselves. But they can't shoot us. We're sitting here. No, this is ridiculous. It's done. We're here. Stop it and fight. This is the time for us to fight. Period. They can't shoot us in the streets. I'm sorry. They can't boom us in the streets, TikTok. Because the S word is a problem. That's what he did. And he shouldn't have. And there was no reason to do it. He was out of the way and went out of his way to just pop 3 bullets in her head. That's what this is. And it can't be allowed. And it can't be accepted.
Okay.
Period.
All right. Thank you, Stephen. I'm going to let you go, but appreciate that perspective for sure. All right. Let me go to Leah. Leah, anything else you want to share with us? And then I'm going to go to Saji. That'll probably be the final comment. I appreciate the live tonight. Again, I probably will go live tomorrow morning. I don't know on this topic. It'll probably be a separate topic. But again, you know, the app has been doing some weird things. If you follow me, please make sure you still following me because it's been doing some weird things. Please make sure to follow the panelists if you align with their views or if you appreciate what they have to say as well. So we're going to go with Leah, and then we're going to go Saji. That'll be the final comment of the live. Go ahead, Leah.
Okay, I just want to say, you know, I'm not even going to give my stance on this, but at the end of the day, we are all human. And at the end of the day, we all bleed red. And at the end of the day, if one thing happens and we react to it like this, where we're like, oh, well, I'm in the middle, or, well, she was doing this and she was doing that, but he did this and he did that. But, we're just going to continue to allow the administration to just do whatever they want because he's the president and they're federal agents. So we're going to allow them to take it to court and take it to court and take it to court. We need to understand that Germany did the same thing. North Korea did the same thing. China did the same thing. And then the United States in the past has did the same thing when they went and they invaded other countries. We need to understand that this is a slippery slope. So if we're going to react like it's not a big deal, like, oh, like, okay, someone just lost their life and we're just going to leave it up to the administration. And we're just going to like sit on our backs and we're going to get off this live and then we're going to scroll on TikTok some more and continue to just doom scroll and go to work and pay bills like this is normal, then I'm not going to give my stance on this. But what I will say is the Black Panthers didn't go walking like the monks. And Malcolm X didn't go protesting with a sign that said, guys, please don't sick the dogs on us. You know what they did? They went, they got their own protection, they got their own vest, and they went band for band, fire with fire, and they fought. While MLK was walking with a line of people and having people get blasted with water hoses and children were being also done wrong, you know, you had the Black Panthers actually doing something. You had Malcolm X actually doing something. And I'm not saying that this is a race for race thing, but what I am saying is just as we Black people stood up for our own people, when that happened to George Floyd, we went out and we did something. Yes, it was riots. Yes, we broke into places. Yes, we did it, but we set a tone for it. The same tone needs to be set right now with your own people. She was a U.S. citizen. She wasn't an immigrant. She was a U.S. citizen. She had rights. She has rights.
Yeah. Let me just say something to you, Leah. You know, typically, again, I just mod. I think the one area that I think I would not disagree, but one area that I would just maybe caution you a little bit is when it comes to Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was absolutely a radical. One of the things that has been done in the 60 some odd years since he's died is his reputation has been completely whitewashed. If you look at some of the stuff that he did, right? If today I were to go to a school and I would take 1,000 kids out of a school and march them down the street, people would call me crazy. They would want to unalive me. They would think I was completely wild. And so what has been done to his reputation has been completely to try to make him seem like he was the quote unquote better option, when in reality, and if you look at what Malcolm X said towards the end of his life, Malcolm X realized this as well. And we also have to remember, right, that all of us are going to be able to fight in different ways. And so what Malcolm X did helped, what Martin Luther King did help, right? What Fred Hampton did helped as well. And so let's just make sure we recognize that all forms of resistance are still resistance. I just want you to think about that.
And I totally get that. I get that standpoint, but personally, for me, where I come from and how I grew up, and just like I used to be like, oh yeah, we need to go protest, we need to go do this, we need to go do that. But how many times have we protested? How many times have we seen people protest? I mean, like, they have vests, they're suited up, like it's like they came for, like, are we not understanding the concept of we're face to face with people who are suited up in vests and they have weapons versus people who don't have anything but regular clothes and shoes? Like, it's not only is it unfair, but at that point, yes, you're setting yourself up for failure. So what I'm saying is, and I'm not encouraging people to do this, but what I am saying is, if you are going to go out and show your support for something, don't you think you should at least be looking how they're looking? You should have the things they have. You should, like, because you cannot, throwing a snowball at an agent obviously is not going to save your life. This is how Renee ended up how she ended up, which is sad. I feel sorry for her. Literally, I'm at first I didn't care, but then I watched the videos and I was like, this is ridiculous. Because now what's going to happen is it's going to keep happening. Do you think the people in the 1930s in Germany were like, actually they were, they did think that. Yes, they were. They were like, yeah, we're gonna comply, we're gonna listen, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and hopefully things will go back the way it were. Did things go back the way it was for Germany, or did it get worse? Did it get worse? Oh, okay, yeah, it got worse. Okay, so unless we want it to get worse, folks, unless we want it to get worse.
So I'm completely in agreement with your idea of resistance. I just want to make sure that, right, that we recognize that resistance comes in many forms. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, you're right, Smitty. The resistance does come in many forms, but it's like
what we got to do, right? And I just want you to think about this, right? One of the things, and this is completely off topic, and I want to let Sajid go, and then I'm going to end the live, right? I think one of the things that we have to remember is the idea of prioritizing a certain type of way, right, goes into kind of this nationalist type of thinking, which is a tool of white supremacy. And so if we want to dismantle white supremacy, let's use the tool of populism, right, which is encouraging all forms of resistance, as opposed to necessarily saying that, hey, this one, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. That's all I'm saying, right? I'm with you. I'm not saying I'm against you. I'm with you, right? I'm just saying that there are many different ways to resist, and people have different tools and tool sets to be able to do that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm definitely not saying your urgency is wrong. I agree with your urgency, 1,000%. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it. I just, I'm going to say this one last thing, then I'm going to end it.
Yep.
All I'm saying is, all I'm going to say is I like my ice crushed, completely crushed. So, if they want to roll up on me, guess what? I'm not going to be in regular clothing. And I advise the 600 people in this chat, I advise y'all to not also be in regular clothing. You get like that, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all have a great night and stay safe.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you for coming up. All right, we're gonna go to Saji. Saji, you be final comment.
Thank you, Smitty. This is what I'm gonna say, and it's gonna be a hot take, okay? A hot take for some of the people in the chat. If we look at the panel that we had today, okay, it was mostly black and brown women, okay? Can we call this out? Who have noticed the pattern in law enforcement, who know that this is going to continue to happen because they have been emboldened and we know what they've done before. Now, what I've seen not just on TikTok, but what I've seen on Facebook and what I've seen on Instagram is a whole lot of white tea people saying if only she had complied, maybe next time, da 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 da. This is the hot take. That was not the hot take. This is the hot take. It's gonna take a lot more bodies for white tea people to wake up. This is the first time that they have seen one of their own in 4K being taken down by one of their own. Okay. And it is going to take a lot more of them walking down the street, just trying to get a snack, being pew-pewed down by an agent. A woman trying to go pick up her kids, blah, 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 taken down. Another man driving, hands up or hands on the steering wheel, fully compliant, being taken out for them to act up. Because we know as melanated people that it doesn't matter if you comply. It doesn't matter if you hand them your ID. It doesn't matter if you speak to them in a kind way. If you roll down your window, if you have your hands on the steering wheel, if you are peacefully walking, minding your own damn business, these people, these white tea supremacists are going to do whatever the fuck they feel like doing. So that's all, Smitty. We're going to have to wait for 10, 20, 30, 40 more people, white tea people to be taken out before maybe they wake up. Sadly, they don't learn.
Thank you, Saji. Cynthia, I know you want to come in real quick. Yep, like a minute.
Thank you. I know you got to go.
I got into a car accident this morning.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But anyway.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I hope you're okay. Take some IBU if you got hurt.
What's that?
I did too this week. My car got totaled the other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Go ahead, Simply. Go ahead.
Sorry to hear that. No, I just wanted to remind people because I think I think history repeats itself when people don't know their history or world history. I'm gonna just say that that regime in the 1930s didn't begin with genocide, and it didn't. They begun by targeting political opponents, LGBT people. The hate that we give F's everyone, because once a society decides that some people are disposable, the circle never stays small. The cruelty spreads and the standards drop, and eventually no one is protected. So we have to remember that, because it's really it's getting to the point that people do not see it until it's in their house. I'm not even gonna say in their front yard, their backyard, in their house. People don't care until it's them. And so that's why I'm pointing this out, because they did not start with a certain group of people that we're dealing with now, where they started with the disabled people. They started with the LGBTQ. They started with different reporters that were reporting on things. So we saying it nowadays. So do what you want with that. But Smitty, thank you. Panel, love you guys. And guys, have an amazing weekend and stay safe.
All right. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I appreciate you guys as well. Thank y'all. Listen, I know one of the things that I do appreciate is, even quite a few that may have an opposing view to me or in the panel appreciates the format and appreciate the way that we're able to have these discussions, these very passionate, raw discussions. Now, I will say this for the people. Melissa, I love you, fam. Appreciate you. Jordan, appreciate you. Appreciate all the folks with the shout outs. Much love. Actually, I'm gonna say that comment, y'all. I'm sore. I'm going home. All right.
You good, Smitty.
So, see y'all later. Thank you, Carolina,
Appreciate
Michelle,
y'all.
Saji, and Simply.
Good night,
Always.
Smitty.
Good night. Take care.
Thank you, fam.
Okay, Travis, thank you so much. Bleh. Mr. AA. Bleh. I have new car. That's cool. You're tawad useless lang. No time for yippee yappy yapoo. Yippee yippee yappoo yapoo. Okay, nice. Thank you, Travis. I like motorbike. Let's go. Okay, thank you, Nitty Beat. Thank you, Nitty Beat. Hi, Darren. Hi, Darowski. Turkey, you always like send me.